Hello and welcome to Vacant Lodge. Today we're going to be mounting these cabinet doors onto the cabinet. Welcome to Vacant Lodge, where I will build many things, fix even more, and try to make it an adventure along the way. Hello and welcome to Vacant Lodge. Today we're going to be mounting these cabinet doors onto the cabinet. I'm going to be using a set of hinges that I bought from Amazon. I'm using the Kreg jig to drill the holes for where these mount in. It makes life a lot easier. I have it set to the 4mm setting for these. The reason why is because I have about a 3/8 inch overlap on each side of it, and that works out to be right. There is adjustments within the hinges that we can make it more fine-tuned. First thing we have to do is, like I said, I measured the width of the opening of the cabinet, and these, and like I have a 3/8 of an inch reveal. To do that, we're going to pick how we want these oriented, which I think they're looking good right now. So we're going to be putting on the back of this side and the back of that side. And then I'm going to move you over to the workbench, and I'll show you how I drill them out. On the Kreg jig, once you have it all set up, it has the correct size bit in there, and you set up the set block so that it goes down a 1/2 inch. It's really not that hard to do. Basically, you're going to make it so that the bit is just below the edge of this plastic. Also on here, there's these adjusters here that go from 3 to 6mm. I have it on 4 for this one because I believe that'll be the correct back spacing. So that's how far over you're going to have a reveal on the edge of the face frame. If you put a smaller number, it's going to move this out and the hole will be closer to the edge, and the bigger number will move it in, so there'll be more of a gap on this outside edge here. Also on here, they have a scale. It's 4 inches long, which is actually what I want to use, but if you wanted to do like a 3 or 3.5 inch, it's on here, so you would just line it up with the edge of the face frame and then drill it in after you clamp it down. We're going to be setting them at 4 inches. I'm basically just going to be setting it flush with the edge there. Push it tight up against the face with the gray parts, and you line up the other side there. Take a clamp to keep it from moving and clamp it down, not too super tight because you don't want to mar the face, especially if you're using pine. You would mar the face. And then using a 5/64 bit, and basically I got to have it out as far as I possibly can to slip it into the chuck. You're going to drill, there's two little holes here that you pre-drill the screws that hold the hinge in. I'm basically just going in there enough to mar it because I can't go deep enough because it hits the drill bit. Like I said, just enough in there to give me a mark so that when I'm done I can go through it. Now we're just going to back off the chuck. If you have vacuum sucking it up, it makes a lot less chips and it's a lot cleaner, but for this one I'll show you without me using the vacuum. You go down until your collar touches the top of that plastic piece. And now you do that for all of the hinge spots on the doors. I'm not going to do them all on camera because I want to run the vacuum so I don't make a big mess. But I'm going to go to actually installing a hinge now so you can see what that looks like. So these hinges came with actually 5 screws for each hinge, so you get 1 extra. But you want the hinge in the open position like this, and you're going to, oops, forgot. Go ahead and drill these pilot holes just a little bit deeper. And then with the hinge open, you're just going to set it in there, and you're going to be able, you'll see this drill holes you just put in there. Line up a screw in each one of them, and screw them in. Using a hand screwdriver instead of like an impact or a drill, just because I don't want to strip them out. You could set the drill on like a lower setting, but it doesn't take me that long to hand screw these in. And that way I know they're not stripped. And that's how you put the hinge in the drawer. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them, and then I'll show you me installing it onto the cabinet itself. This is why you read directions, and I have to say that I didn't do that, so I'm wrong. Remember I was complaining how I couldn't get my drill bit long enough to go into those little holes? Well, Kreg people are so smart, they made it so that this comes off. Makes it a lot easier. I guess if you read the directions, you would know that. Anyways, I'm going to go back. I'm going to get all the hinges installed. I just wanted to make sure I showed that to you. And then, see, it makes it a lot easier to zip out the holes. Still want to make sure you don't go too deep on these though, because you drill all the way through the face. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this cabinet is on its back because I don't have it installed on the wall yet, which kind of helps me out a little bit because I can actually just stand the door up on its edge here when I'm lining up and drill the holes. And what I did is I cut this block to be the length that I want this bottom hinge spaced off the bottom face rail. I put a little bit of double-sided tape on the back of it, so if I get in here and I just stick it to the bottom here, it gets me pretty close, because then I drill out in the center of those holes there. You can see that they're ovals though, so you do have a little bit of play to move up and down, but that gets me really close, and then when I adjust them later and fix the fitment, we'll line them up perfectly. So next step is you just take the exact same drill bit that you had before, and you drill out, trying to center it up in that oval the best you can, because that way you have the most play for adjustments later. So you can see how big that gap is in there, how they're not lined up on the bottom and stuff. I'm going to make some adjustments. I took the overall length of the cabinet and I divided it by 2, and I put a very small line on there where it would be between the door faces. So that gives me my center line. I measured up from the bottom of the face to the bottom of the doors, and I made that the same across all of them. I learned by doing this that you have to set the middle set of doors on the set of 3 before you do the outside ones, because that gets you their center, and if you get these squared up and true, the other ones build off of that. Because if you do like the left one, which I tried to do first, and that one's kind of off, the middle one's going to be way off, and the last one you're not going to be able to get anywhere near. In the future, if you're doing 3 in a row like this, do the middle ones first, get a center line, center in the middle of your doors, and then basically what you're going to do from there is I use my speed square. I adjusted it so that this bottom face was the exact same all the way across. To do that, I set this dimension the same as this dimension, and then adjusted this screw and that screw till I got it where the entire face was straight across the bottom here. In doing that, it got them squared up, and then I just used my speed square as a spacer in the middle, and I adjusted them so that they're in, so that's the even spacing. So that's what I can do for the other 2 so that they look the same. I'm going to go through and mount and adjust the other doors, and then I'll show you how it all looks when it's done. All of the doors are mounted now. The last thing you got to do is they come with these little rubber stopper thingies, and they go inside the door. You open up the door. You're just going to put them in the corners of the door where it closes so it touches the face. When they close, it's a lot softer. They don't slam. You can see. Then they don't make a noise. Whereas without it, you hear that little bit of clank. Not a big deal, but they came with them, and I think they make it a little bit nicer, so we make sure you put them on there. I have to clean them up a little bit, but that'll happen when I take it up north and I install it. As I learned this time, you start at the center and you work your way out, making sure the bottom reveal was the same, and this one happened to be 1 1/4 inches. Made sure those are all the way around, and then you just keep adjusting so you get this middle gap on all of them about the same. Pretty happy with it. I think it'll look nice up north where I'm putting it. Hopefully you like this video. If you did, give me a subscribe. I want to thank you for watching, the channel's going pretty well. Hopefully you guys are liking what I'm doing. If you do, let me know. If there's anything else you want to see me build, I don't do a lot of cabinetry. This is just what I've been having to do this winter because I'm working on that. This summer, if you're into this far into the video, looks like we're going to be doing a bunch of siding, which I've done in the past, but we're going to try to do some other, because like this building, somebody smashed a window, and to get the window out, I want to take the siding off. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to replace it because it needs to be replaced anyhow because it's all like mildewy. All right, hopefully you'll like that. It'll be an upcoming series more than likely. Once again, thank you for watching. May God bless you, and you have a great day.